And me and Hagai have been talking quite extensively about these solutions. I even spoke to Elder Richard while he was still in NAD. We were looking for a solution to help us during that time when income started going down. What do we do to make sure that our members are able to continue to be good stewards of the resources that God has given them? And we ended up going with ACMS because it was ready to go, and it was matured, it was available. And unlike you here, I want you to realize the gift that you have so that when you consider these things, you look at the context. You use CFMS in ECD. You have a very strong mobile money culture, if I should say. You are able to do almost the whole life without touching cash or without having to do bank cards or whatever. That is not the reality everywhere. You need to realize how much that is a gift, and please capitalize on it because it's a very good, strong point for you. So we went with ACMS Treasury module, and one of the main things that we appreciate with it is the ability for you to do such reports as faithfulness, because it takes the data that you have on ACMS membership, and then you cross-pollinate it with the data you have in Treasury. You are able to pull out reports like this one, which shows you in a church what is the level of people participating in stewardship. And the bigger the red bar, as I always say when I preach in SID, the bigger the red bar, the closer to apostasy that church is. It means people in that church are not returning tithe and offering. There's a strong correlation between the faithfulness or the participation in stewardship and the spirituality of individuals. You should check it in your own life. When things are not going well spiritually, the stewardship side also starts reflecting. Are we together? You are not convinced. All right, it's always difficult to speak in the afternoon, especially when the food is now doing its own thing. So here are some quick statistics about the ACMS Treasury module. So far, the system is doing 1.2 million receipts a month. It's in 22 unions, the number of churches that are participating, number of countries, and so on and so forth. So this is just a quick overview on the states of ACMS Treasury module. All right, this one, I'm happy that my elder at the back is here. Laserfiche. Laserfiche is our paperless solution. So what we have done is we have been able to implement Laserfiche. For those who are not sure what it is, Laserfiche is an engine or a system or a solution that helps you to go paperless. I mean, no paper. So if you come to our Treasury department now at the SID, we don't have a single sheet of paper. We no longer buy bond paper in our Treasury department. Why? Because this thing, one, is expensive. Number two, it's not just the paper. There's this thing here that's called ink. Are we together? Also very expensive. And then there are also some trees that are getting chopped off every day for this thing. So we are trying to save the environment by using electronic means. I hope you appreciate the pen. So what we have done is, Laserfiche is a very expensive solution, I should say upfront. But if you spread the cost, or if you then look at implement it with all of its benefits, you start appreciating it. So we are using it in the HR department. It's used in the Treasury department. It's used in the Secretariat department. It eliminates the need for printing in Treasury, like I told you, the cost saving. Those machines that you used to print, we used to rent them. I'm not sure if you buy them here or rent them. We stopped that. So that whole rental amount is now saved. We put that to reduce the cost of Laserfiche. The printing, we took that amount, we reduced the cost of Laserfiche, and so on. So even the space to store the scanned documents, all of that has been eliminated by this solution. And then, of course, efficient and timely production of financial reports. I think ECD might be unique because people stay here. They might be able to come to campus if there's a lockdown. We work in an environment where the office is in another place and people stay in another place. And when there's a lockdown like COVID gave us, we needed to come up with a solution. And Laserfiche came to our rescue. We're able to make sure that all you need is your computer, a VPN connection, a stable internet connection. And the Treasury department was able to run for over 2 years without anyone stepping into the office. Interesting solution, right? Very interesting. But what we also noticed when we did Laserfiche, we used to be 3 months, 2 months behind with financial statements. We would be in January and we are talking about November or something. Now, We wait for the date. Once the trust funds are reported, the financial statement is ready because all transactions are paperless. So my expense report, while I'm here, I'm doing a lot of interesting things, buying chapati and, okay, not chapati, but yeah, doing things. All I do is I take pictures of those things, prepare my expense report, send it, and the accountant receives it electronically, and then processes it into Laserfiche, and SunPlus is connected to Laserfiche. It then combines the journal and the backups into one electronic document. What we normally do in most places is we receive memos from the GC, good example. They're electronic via PDF. We print them out onto paper. Then we prepare the journals, we sign it, everything is done. When we are done, we scan it back into electronic format. Do you see the inefficiency there? So Laserfiche removes that inefficiency and makes sure electronic stays electronic until the end. And Laserfiche has workflows. So you can program it. Actually, the limitation of Laserfiche is your people who are configuring the thing. What you imagine can be done. It can even cook coffee, not coffee, cakes, it can bake, it can do all sorts of things. But the limitation is, of course, the programming side. But my point is that you can come up with a workflow where you say, we want, when this document is received, it goes to so-and-so for authorization. They authorize it electronically. It moves to so-and-so and moves to so-and-so until it completes the whole cycle. So this applies for new employees that come to the office. I'll show you just now as we go. When you come to SID as a new person, we give you a form to fill. You fill in that information. It goes to the next person who then looks at what we need to give you for you to be able to work. If it's keys, if it's computers, whatever, from department to department, and everybody's ticking. So at any given time, we know where you are in the process of getting onboarded as a new employee. So it kind of does a lot more than just treasury. One thing that I want you to realize is IT people. If your solutions are only addressing treasury problems, you're going to have a fight in ADCOM or somewhere where somebody feels these guys get everything they want. You now need to make sure whatever solution you have, you also look into other departments. Make sure when, like I mentioned the other day, you are in ADCOM, you are quiet, they are the ones who are motivating for this thing to be voted because it's a solution for everyone. It's not just your IT solution, and the cost of technology then becomes a problem. All right, so this has really helped us quite a lot. So here are some of the things that it does quite well. So as I mentioned, this, I took a screenshot of this, I think it was June 2022, and we had done 118,000 pages in Laserfiche. So if those were journals, whatever, all of that was supposed to be printed. So multiply that by the cost of paper, cost of the RIM, cost of the machine, you'll soon see that Laserfiche is not expensive in the long term. The licensing and the setup fees are quite high, but once you look at it from this perspective, you start realizing that you don't actually need to worry too much about that. It will repay itself with time. So the Treasury Archive is like that. So anytime auditors come now, they don't even come anymore. Sometimes they do remote audits and all of that. And all the information is accessible to them, and they're able to pull out journals and all the years that you need. You can keep as many as your storage space allows you to keep. So this solution, really happy about it because it has saved us a lot of time, and a lot of missing journals are no longer an issue. It produces reports. Which are the missing journals? It will run a report, an SQL script will come and tell you, okay, these ones, we don't find them in the archive. This is who did them, and then that report is given to the person who didn't scan them, and they have to do what they need to do. So these are some of the things that SunPlus people will be very happy to know as well. All right, let's go to Secretariat. So Secretariat, access to minutes. Archives of minutes have always been an issue. When you want to go and do your research on an issue that happened when ECD was being organized, we now just go to Laserfiche, type in a few keywords, and all of the references to that, all the documents come up. So this is in Secretariat. We have we have the minutes in there, and then we also have working policy items and so on in that same archive. So this has really worked very well, and Secretariat is very happy because now they can work from home and they have a centralized place where all of their documents are stored. HR processes, employee folders, where your employee records are kept are now in Laserfiche by alphabetic order. All those supporting documents. You don't want when somebody is either passed away or is now retired, now you're starting to ask for their birth certificate or the children's records. All of that is in this system, and it has worked quite well for us. So here are some of the processes that we have implemented. Confirmation of employment. Like I mentioned the other day, we had secretaries who would sit, and every time an employee says, I need to go and open a bank account, I need proof of employment, they go down and they start typing a letter and all of that. Now it's an automated system. You just click on start, and let me see, yeah, there we go. And then the information of the person is pulled up, and by the time it's done, they are emailed a PDF, which is signed and stamped with their information. And the letter, I think, looks something like this. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. Right. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is proof of residence for that person. It's a letter, a proper letter stamped and everything, but this is all automated. So no one is sitting down to type all of this information. It's a standard thing there. And I think if I showed you nicely, we have a few of them. Contract of employment, letter generation, employee, family, spouse, letter of appointment, proof of residence, missing general report, and so on. So all of these things can be automated and be made to become a click of a button instead of somebody spending 30 minutes and then going to look for someone to sign and then look, and then you are told, no, the person who's supposed to sign this letter is not in the office today. All of these things are workflows that can be done, and all of this is in Laserfiche. All right, so recently we also now implemented the public-facing forms now. So things like service requests, all of those things will now be done online. You just go and you type it in, and then it goes to the appropriate people, they do their voting, and so on and so forth. So Laserfiche has a lot of applications that you can use it for to go paperless, and it's amazing. It's amazing. All right, so let me quickly move on to there. And then we've also done the use of, there's a system called ASAS. It's an employee management system that we use that integrates with all of our other systems. We are also working on a retirement management system as well. So it will plug into this. This processes your calls. So when somebody moves from one institution to the other, this system is able to process that call so that at any given time, I thank God, the church has moved. You know, when I say the church has moved, we've moved a long way. There was a time when if you were called by SID and you're working in Kenya Central Conference or whichever, the president, if they didn't like you, they received your letter and they put it in their drawer and they forgot about it. Right? And then when they are asked, what happened? Said, no, he was not interested. Nah, he was not interested. And that was the end of the story. When then they meet you and say, my brother, we put a call for you and you refused. Said, no, but I never received anything. Yeah, there was all sorts of things happening at the time. So these systems now are helping us because when a call is processed, it's transparent enough to see where the process, if an outcome is voted, it will be able to check that. And then when the employee then eventually gets to the institution where they work, their service record is now electronic in this system. It just arrives, and once we are doing our audit, our yearly audit things, it will be something like this, electronic one, and it's the secretary, executive secretary electronically signs the service records as well. So come retirement, you don't have gaps in your service record. I'm not sure if it happens in Kenya, but we have situations where we come retirement time, there's a huge chunk of space missing in the service record. Now they have to go and dig the buried to find out and ask them whether this person was an employee this year and this thing, and then it needs to be signed, or it gets lost altogether. So this is something that has really helped us to get that sorted out. All right. Okay, so what's working? On the governance side, we have an ITSC committee with its terms and reference. I'll share this with us. Let me see if I can show you nicely. The text might be a bit small, but to develop and implement IT strategy for the SID in line with business objectives set from time to time to study and approve purchases and all of that. So this is the terms of reference of a subcommittee of the ADCOM, which sits down whenever we buy anything. It's not a one-man decision, or when we deny you something, it reduces a lot of politics. Because in our church uses committees, right? So when it's a decision made by a committee, it's much better than for you to be then answering this one person as an IT person why they didn't get the brand new MacBook they wanted. So it goes through this committee decides what is needed, and it has saved us a lot of headaches. Are we together? So this is a good one. And I think we will share, maybe it's a good start, Haggai, we might be able to get some of this. So as you saw, the GC is a more elaborate committee system. We just started with this one, and it has kind of helped us a lot. Then we also realized the power of the XCOM. The day when I realized the power of the XCOM, I was very happy. Our church is a committee church. It does committees. Even your IT items can do the following. Let me show you what we did here. You see this letter here? It says, "Dear Elder Masugu, I greet you in the name of the Lord, Here are a few items we need to bring to your attention regarding the work of the information ICT. During our last XCOM at SID, the following actions were taken. It is recommended that these be adopted by the Zook XCOM and implemented in the Zook territory," right? And here are the items. The first one was about the telephone system. Voted to adopt the telephone system that we had designed at the GC because it was going to, at the SID, because it was going to reduce our costs and make our communication easier. SunPlus Cloud Offsite Backup System. Voted that all CFOs from conferences to the division sign the adoption of the SunPlus Cloud Offsite Backup System. Further, that data loss is gross negligence and the relevant IT personnel be charged and the applicable country sentence of gross negligence be applied. Did you hear that? Further, it is to be what cascaded to all entities by that timeline. So this particular action means if your union's SunPlus disappears, like the stories we have heard, you are also disappearing from your post. Because it got that serious. It got to a point where we realized if we didn't take strong measures, because unfortunately, it was always close to the audit time that SunPlus stories, just started disappearing. So we say the IT person responsible for that site, when this happens, there will be consequences. And XCOM has all of our leaders, right? So when you leverage that power that XCOM has all, there's no, this passed through ITC, our committee, it passed through ADCOM, and then it went to XCOM. All the union presidents, conference people are in XCOM and so on. So this is communicated, presented as I'm presenting to you to the XCOM, so that the leaders understand the impact of what we are talking about. Because sometimes IT people do their things as we head in the basements, and no one knows you are suffering alone. So we realize that XCOM is a powerful tool to implement IT changes. And this has changed the way we do a lot of things. Email protocol. XCOM voted that all institutions use the adventist.org domain. We had people using their private Gmail for official business. It still happens here, maybe? Does it happen here? All the time. Well, we have a policy, an XCOM policy that says that is illegal. And the reasons are very simple. I have a presentation, if I had time, I would have shown you. The GC, the GC lost, I think, I've forgotten the amount, $9,000 or something. The hackers hacked into a private Gmail account, and they issued instructions to the bank, and money left the building. So that was a good motivation. Use every crisis to your what? To your benefit as IT people. So we said, we don't want what happened at the GC to happen here. So this is what we are going to do. Because our email system has two-factor authentication for everyone. So we are not going to have this challenge. So we worked on this and it kind of helped. We also had a policy on antivirus done. Oh, this was, by the way, 2016. 2016. Antivirus, ESAT, we voted that happens. And then we also did the IT policy. We made sure there was an action that says we need to have an IT policy implemented and used. And the policy is also there. The IT steering committee, we also took an action for that. Internet in all entities and so on. So we realized that this approach got us going so that you don't have individual administrators who say, what are you talking about? We have no money for this. So now you are empowered with an SID action. And when we also go now and do our evaluations, we say, Elder, but in the XCOM, you heard us presenting. Because sometimes I have also learned when Richard speaks to my boss, it's different when I speak to my boss. Are we together? When Richard comes and says, hey, this is what we agreed, but what's happening? What are the challenges so that I help you? It gets things done. So that's one thing that we just found to be quite effective, and it has worked for us quite well. So also the ITC policy, we have that done, and all employees sign it to make sure that we are moving together. All right, and then we have a few things that we did. We changed from having, I think this one is now old news, moving from printing those binders for XCOM, now it's an online thing, and then you have a website which has all of these things on it. Sessions, event management, we have QR codes, a system that does QR codes for us, as you have here, but when you come in, we scan for you. So when there's a session, it manages sessions, it's designed to manage sessions. So I'm not sure about here, but where we come from, we're very legalistic people. They'll say, point of order, Mr. Chair. They come to the mic and say, I don't think that Elder Stevenson needs to be in this meeting. We are not sure where he's coming from. But, so now we have a system that shows us the credentials of everybody. When you come to the mic, like the GC does, we can scan and we do this kind. So it controls the number of people in the meeting, makes sure that there's a quorum, all of those headaches. But I'm showing you all of this to say, as IT people, your interest must not just be in the technology. Look at where the pain points of the institution are and make sure you propose solutions that address those specific issues. And you might be able to find a lot of progress. So here's an example. That lady, so when you come in, we know when you came in. There was an issue where people swap these things. They give other people to come into the meetings. Very creative minds happening. So you check, you say, oh, you have a badge coming now. It says, oh, you have a biometric two-factor authentication on you. So those are some of the things that helped with. Then e-voting. This was another interesting solution that we got. We realized that there were a lot of what you call routine voting items. So we came up with a voting system which allows you to create, the secretariat or whoever is managing those, to create items for voting. It sends an email to the members of that committee. They click on it, then they vote on the items, and then after the vote time is closed, it auto-compiles that into minutes for you. And then you're able then to just have them work like that. So this is a kind of an input page, the name, the action, and so on. And then once you publish it, it then sends out that to all the members of that specific committee, gives you the time when you need to have voted by, and so on. Of course, the hot items still need some interaction and so on, but these are things like leaves, all of those are automated. People don't sit down to vote for those anymore. It's a waste of? I know in Africa we say time is what? What do we say? Do we say that in Africa? Yeah, that's the one I wanted. There's no hurry in Africa, eh? Yeah. No, we realize that is killing us. So we managed to get this one going. It was quite a good one. So this is how it kind of looks like. Then you begin your vote, and then it at the end of the day then gives you some minutes, and you have yes or no, abstain, and any other comments that you have. It does all of those kind of little things for you. So we realized there was a problem, and it helped us to sort out that one. Another issue was an online bookstore kind of solution where members order quarterlies. I don't know about here, but we had problems with people buying and selling on Sabbath. So this kind of said, go do it on the thing. We are not touching money or buying, because it's difficult for you to teach stewardship to little kids who you are saying you can't buy sweets on Sabbath. But at church, we are busy exchanging money for quarterlies and... yeah, so this kind of helped us a little bit to solve that problem. All right. Yeah. Okay, the other thing that we have also managed to kind of do is the Sun Plus Cloud. There was a time when the GC was pushing a project to have us all have an Adventist cloud. I think I mentioned it before. But what we then managed to do was we got money. The SID was gracious enough to give us 4 million rand. I'm not sure how much that is in US dollars, maybe $500,000 US dollars somewhere there. And we managed to buy a hyper-converged infrastructure to start our cloud project. And currently it's got 433 users in there. People log in every day from their unions to do their Sun Plus work. And by the way, because Laserfiche is in the same environment, we don't have extra implementation cost for unions. We've already done that part. What they pay for is the access license to the solution, which is way less than the thousands of US dollars you need to do an independent implementation of the same solution. So this has kind of saved us a lot. And of course, we charge for it. So yearly fees, we make about 155,000 bucks from just saving I mean, from just using this solution. So now, when we go to treasury, the conversation is very different. We are not going to say, please, we need, say, hey, in that money that you collected for us, can we please buy this? It's a different conversation, eh? I'm not sure if your children if your children give you money as a parent, when they come and ask for it to do something, they are not, it's a different conversation. It's not, Papa, please, may I have money for this? It's like, hey, Papa, that money you kept for me, I want to do, it's a different conversation. I think you're getting the point. So another thing that we need to make sure we do as IT people, we need solutions that pay for themselves in a way. It will help them get bought easier by Treasury. Treasurers want to know your income and your expenses and how we are going to take care of the difference. Are we together? So this is quite something that has helped us. So this is our little data center in our office, and that is the hyper-converged infrastructure. And it's one unit with storage, networking, and processors in there. It's got blade servers in there that do a lot of magic. We only have six blades in there, but because of the capacity they have, we have a lot of free space. Just that my picture is not very clear. I wish you would see it nicely. We have a lot of empty bays here. So expansion, maybe this picture might be better. On the top part there, on this part here, there is a lot of free space. This is the part where we are using currently. And if we need to expand, we just buy more blades and chuck them in there. And then we made sure that this is a 15-year-old, I mean, the life cycle of this support-wise is over 15 years old, so that we are able to use it for a very long time. So those are the kind of things that we want to also look for when you go with some of these solutions. All right, so that is that one. And then IT services, my time is okay, guy? Okay, cool. All right, so IT services, so we also become consultants for our lower entities. So whenever they have anything that they need purchasing, we centralized. I've purchased some things, I think, for even Elder Haggai from here, from that side. So we centralize our purchases because we have a lot of purchasing power there. We realized that when we took all of our division purchases into our office, the amount of discounts that we're able to then process were amazing. Resellers make a lot of money. The value chain makes a lot of money. When you cut out all of those people and you become a distributor or a service provider for a particular service, you yourself can become a HP Gold partner as the church. And now all of a sudden, the amount of money you will have saved is amazing. So that's something that we're actually in the process now of registering our IT department as a company. Did you hear that? So that is a standalone entity from because we're a non-profit, right? But our IT will be able to then become a company that's registered that can now become an official whatever for anything. So that's how our market works, and it has saved us a lot of trouble. All right, so here's a quick summary of the systems that we currently use in SID. So we have ticketing systems. The reason why I put this one first was, if you're a one-man shop or a small IT team, it is worth your time to implement a ticketing system so that you keep track of every request that comes into your office. You know what it will help you with? You'll be able to produce a report that says, I think we are overworking this gentleman or these two people. Because now you have data. Are we together? If you are receiving 200 requests a day and there's one person to work, how efficient can that person be? So a ticketing system gathers that kind of information. Now you can come and say to my elder there in Treasury, Elder, I think we need to find someone to assist us because the work, as you can see, is not happening. So this kind of helps. And then it also helps you, of course, not to lose anything that falls through the cracks. SunPlus, ACMS, free PBX. We have standardized on pfSense for our firewall, so all our entities are on the same firewall. So if you move from place to place, you have the same skill set that you just need. Vim for backups, VMware, Ocean Store, Cloudflare for our DNS and firewalling, Amazon, Microsoft, Sage. I'm just looking for the interesting ones. Gemfro, that's an interesting one. We realized that the number of Macs in our office we moved away from Windows altogether. So everyone in our office uses a Mac, and we didn't want to spend time configuring everybody's Mac. So that Gemf solution allows you to put a standard configuration, and as you buy the machine from the store, when the person opens it, they switch it on, it says, please enter your email address, please enter your password, and then it says, please wait while we install all the software that you need, including configuring your email. Sounds interesting for IT guys? So we don't have anyone sitting down configuring everything by hand, Wi-Fi, printers, It's all done by that system. It's expensive, but for us, time is money. And we always try, one of the things that we look at when we implement a solution is how much overheads for the IT people. We have a small team, I'll show you just now, a few people, but we don't have time to be doing too many things. So if we can find a system that automates things and frees us from doing that manually, we'll be very happy with that. Somebody asked about password sharing and so on. We use one password. So you can have your whole team on one password and then have a shared vault where centralized passwords for systems are kept and they sync whenever you change a password. If they change the password now, it will sync onto my one password and that makes life easy. Is there a risk? Yes. IT people, please tell people the truth. Everything is a trade-off. Are we together? Either cost versus efficiency, security is in the equation. So there's a risk. I read an article, one of these guys got hacked. It happens. Are we together? But the risk of that happening is way less than us sharing insecurely these passwords and things going wrong. So those are the kind of trade-offs that you want to make sure you always present. All right, so let me just now the future. Infrastructure developments, we need to get a secondary connection to our data center. Our internet providers are working on that. We have moved from G Suite to Office 365. Our G Suite got to a point where it got to the 30 gigs limit and we couldn't buy more space. So we moved to there. Disaster recovery is an issue that we still are struggling with. We have it as in pieces and bits. We need it unified. Power solution, we have a generator where now we're putting solar on top of our building so that we increase our redundancy as far as power. Laserfiche we have done in that one as well. All right, so let me quickly move here. I had some other things in there. All right. There's another one. Here is the one that I wanted to show you. All right, so this is our future plan. So our department is going to expand. So far, we've kind of filled most of these, I think about 4 of them. We want to make sure that we have all of these covered as roles in our IT department so that we have more people covering our department. And this is quite extensive. It gives you all of the information. This is our roadmap as far as human resources is concerned. So that's something that we are working on. So our team is currently like this. The next important person we are looking for is an IT security officer. That's something that we need to fill yesterday. But this is the team that I currently work with. And this team handles all of those other systems that you saw there and all the other outsourced stuff that you see there. So you have to balance these things. Unfortunately, we have also, like Hagai has, our CFO supports our initiatives, and we are very thankful for that. So I'll stop here for now because of time. Any 1 or 2 questions that you have that you want me to address? Otherwise, good afternoon. Here you go. Yes, you can go ahead. Yeah, you can shout if it's...
I hope it is on. Yeah, it's on now. I got 2 questions, basically related to the Laserfiche, the Laserfiche technology.
Yeah.
Is it implemented just at the division, or you've integrated with the unions and the conferences?
Okay.
Because you said you've gone paperless. So I'm just wondering, now that you're receiving paperless memos from the GC, how about the ones that are coming from the lower entities?
Okay, all right. So that's a good one. So it's in our SID cloud, which includes our office and our unions. So anyone in the cloud can also then use it. So we don't receive any paper, anything from anyone. Everything comes via either Laserfiche or comes via email as an attachment, as a PDF. So we don't receive any physical memos from lower entities.
Oh, good. So it means the entire division is paperless, huh?
Well, yeah, in a way you could say that. But they're still scanning. Some of them are still scanning to us. Okay. But now they'll be scanning into Laserfiche, and then Laserfiche will then just do the magic, and we don't need to have any papers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means even for the HR, you've just created profiles for each of your conferences.
Exactly.
Ah,
Because
that's
they're
good.
all in our cloud, so it
Okay.
makes life easier when it's like that.
Do you have the physical equipment that supports that supports that software?
Yes,
For
yes.
each, that means for each and every entity, union,
Yes.
and fields, they have bought that equipment.
So a few years ago, we had the eDocs, the SunPlus e-scanning project. So those same scanners, the Canon C whatever scanners, are the ones that we just repurposed to be able to do the Laserfiche side. And even your photocopiers now can do that for you as well. So yeah, it's everything. And even your phone. I mean, Laserfiche has apps which you can use your phone to scan and all sorts. Yeah, but it's always easier when you have dedicated equipment. It's faster. So a scanner that does 60 pages per minute, I mean, that's beautiful. So those are the kind of equipment that you need. But one thing in closing as I go, one thing that I learned, sometimes when you look at these big projects and you wonder, how did the guys do this? You have to start small. But as you start small, have the big picture in mind. So that as I ask for instance, we need a generator in the office. I didn't just look at the electrical needs of the building. I said, okay, if we do more people, so I bought times 2 the capacity of the generator once and made sure that even if we expand, I will not go back and say, please, can we have money for this? So those are the kind of strategies that you might need to do. So one project fortunately led into the benefit for the next project. And now we are benefiting from that investment that was done those donkey years ago.
Good. Thank you. Maybe the last one. In regards to the funding that you received, was you said about 4 million rands, huh?
Yeah.
That's equivalent to slightly over 30 million Kenya shillings.
Okay.
Do you charge the unions and the conferences?
Yes.
They're the ones that you bill?
Yeah, so it's a service that we provide.
Okay.
So SunPlus, we have, I think it's like $15 per user per month for SunPlus. So if you have 10 people in the office, that's what we charge you. You don't need to buy hardware, servers, and all of that. I didn't even talk about support. So when there's an issue, we don't fly to wherever. We just go into the environment and fix the problem. But those are all the benefits of that. But your point being that we collect revenue from people using the service that we offer. And that way we've become, instead of just a cost center, now we have a statement of income and expenses.
That's good. Guy has some work cut out for him.
Yeah, we have a lot of work. Still, even with that, we still have a lot of work to do. Yeah.
Thanks, Elder.
All right. Okay, here's another question this side. Elder guy, who is next so that they come and prepare? Okay. Oh, David, come, my brother. Oh, okay. All right. Yes, my brother. Oh, in French. Okay, I need the gift of tongues.
Oui, merci beaucoup. J'ai une question à propos de ACMS. Il y a une année que dans notre union, on nous avait délégué de circuler dans toutes nos stations pour essayer de recruter les membres des différentes églises afin de constituer les fichiers électroniques.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You see? Okay. That's the part you had.
Ok, je tente de dire ceci. Il y a une année que dans nos fils, dans nos associations, on nous a délégué de circuler dans nos stations pour constituer les fichiers électroniques qu'on nommait ACMS.
So it's been 1 year. They have been told that they can start using ACMS.
Alors, quand nous étions en train de circuler dans les différentes associations, on était en train de récolter les données de nos différents membres.
So when they were moving around, gathering all the information needed,
Alors, la question qui se laisse poser, ça fait déjà une année que nous sommes en train d'attendre que ces fichiers électroniques soient opérationnels.
the question which is there, he's wondering, it's been 1 year waiting that those files can be used.
Oui, mais jusqu'à présent, aucun suivi. Donc, on ne sait pas comment continuer avec l'actualisation. Parce que ça fait déjà une année, il y a des nouveaux entrants dans l'église, des sortants, des morts. Alors, comment on va encore réactualiser cette...
But up to now, it's like there's no any update. So they want to know if there can be if there can be a follow-up. So probably that guy will help.
OK, la deuxième phase de la question.
Okay, a second question.
Oui, j'aimerais savoir le lien qui existe entre les ACMS avec les CFMS.
He wants to know the link, the interlink between ACMS and the CFMS. That should be for a guy.
The linkage to ACMS. Hey, I'm getting there. At least I know day and do and bon après-midi. Anyway, about ACMS, you can translate to him. There are files that were received, yes, but there is an implementation plan. So we get the files, we review, we correct errors, then we configure your space in ACMS, then that's when we come for training. So that is work in progress, you should not worry. Secondly, when it's come to the other question, when I'm coming back here for CFMS, I'll make a comment on it.
En fait, il vous disait que c'est un projet en cours, donc ils vont continuer à faire l'implémentation. Donc on vous tiendra au courant.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so thank you so much, Lathembi, for your very inspiring presentation. We'll follow up on some of those things that we have seen. We look at the cost and we see what we can adopt to make our processes more automated. But I think we are getting there, and that is just something that inspires us. I want us to stand and stretch as Innocent and David and Sampla's team come to make a 30 minutes presentation. So can we stand and just beat the air, just beat the air to flap your hands like a helicopter, right? Then you reverse. You want blood to flow so that there's no risk of sedentary issues. So, can we go down? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy that Haggai didn't read my profile because he says much, and I knew he would say much about me, which I didn't really like. My name is Innocent. I'm a Samplers coordinator. I have an office down here, and I'm here to present to you a little some information about Samplers. I'm supposed to present along with Brother David, but the reason he's not standing here with me is because they didn't have his profile, so you can't present anything if they don't have your profile. But anyways, he's here with me, and well, I don't know. He's trying to tell me something. Sorry, I can't get what the just said. It's off. Okay, well, allow me also to introduce, last time when they gave me an opportunity to introduce to you the SunPlus team, I thought of introducing the people who were coming from far, and I missed presenting to you, introducing to you Brother David Anochalabi. He's the GC SunPlus Configuration Manager. May you kindly stand. And yeah, he's originally from Ghana, but he stays, ECD has given him permanent resident in here. We also have Olo Felix Adiambo, or Odiambo? Okay, one of the two. Adiambo or Odiambo. He's a support specialist, senior support specialist. He's also here. He joined us in November. Thank you. So anything, they'll also help me. Now, what is SunPlus? In our simple definition of SunPlus, it's a mission-driven denominational network that provides and improves continuously sound and global applicable financial management system. It has 3 core values: quality, vision, and transparency. We have a team of the General Conference SunPlus team that is called SunPlus Global Team, and it is composed by 8 people. One is the director, Brent, Danny Orilosa, SunPlus Associate Director. Maybe you've met him. We have Gerardo Sangronis, IT Manager. He works with Thembi in South Africa. David Anshelabe, I've introduced him to you. He's the Configuration Manager. He's with us here. Yovian Lubis, he's a Payroll Technology Manager. Janalisho, Training and Documentation Manager. Gustavo Massaro, Quality Assurance. Lusekelo Mamakamba, SunPlus Support and Services Manager. And here are their photos. If you meet them, these are the guys. So he's the Director, IT Manager, Documentation, Configuration. Sorry? Okay. Dani Orilosa, Lusekelo, Yovian, and Gustavo. And I also thought of introducing to you the service and support team. And we use, when I was in the team, we used just to be called support team. But now it also includes services because they can render services. For example, we have some people in the Philippines who are doing some work of the GC from the Philippines. So apart from support, they also give services to entities that might want. We used to have also the same people, some people in the Philippines also helping Australia on some aspects. So they're located in the whole world, beginning from the Philippines, India, Kenya, Kigali, Rwanda. We have one in the Netherlands, Europe, Nigeria, Ghana, and Panama, and in the US. These are people from the Philippines. There are many because they are the ones who are most referred to as services also. So I will not go through the names. It might take long, but there are, well, I'll say 7 plus the support manager who also lives there. And then there's a support office also in India. There's an office in Kigali, including our brother Eve, who is here. There's Felix Olo, who I've just introduced to you, who is based here in Kenya. There's an office in Nigeria. There are 2 people in Ghana, Fred Asante, who is here. I introduced him the first day, and Isaac Avornia. And then we have the last support member from Panama in Southern America. So in SunPlus, they have, or I should say we have, more other services that we render. We have SunPlus Financials, and then we have SunPlus Healthcare. We do have SunPlus Inventory. We have SunPlus Payroll. We have SunPlus. We have services, and then we have also support, and we have intelligence and workflows. I'll allow myself to give time to David to go through the two. I know what they are, but he might have more explanations of what it is, the SunPlus Intelligence and the SunPlus Workflows. And then in our division, what we've been able to adopt, I've presented to you. There's a lot that SunPlus covers, but in ECD, we've been able to adopt the SunPlus Financials, and then, well, the name SunPlus that we all know generally is SunPlus. And I would also mention that we've been in the world of SunPlus comes from an original name called Sun Systems, but the church decided to call it SunPlus. Why SunPlus? Sun has inherited from Sun Systems, and then the plus would mean any other thing that they can offer to the people that are part of the church. So I think this era now is the time for plus. You know, we have the sun, but now is the time for the pluses. So we have the SunPlus as a system that we all know, and then we have SunPlus eDocs, electronic documents. I was telling Tembi that he should not have presented before me, because when he's talking about Laserfiche, we are still talking about eDocs. But as we all know, you can't get to the last floor. You first go through the basement, first floor, and so maybe we are on the second floor, but we'll get also to the Laserfiche. So we have SunPlus eDocs, that's the second system. We have SunPlus APS, which is the payroll or personnel management. We have INR, the inventory. We have HCS, the healthcare. I will not talk so much about CFMS, but even though it's not really part of my work, but whatever data or finance we get, now the source is CFMS. So CFMS should also be put on the list of the system that has been adopted by SunPlus in our division. If I would say a few words about SunPlus Financial, there's this, the church doesn't just pick things out of blue. They think first. They have, basis to pick things. So when they picked SunPlus, it was based on a book of prophecy that is called Testimonies for the Church, Volume 6, page 11, that Ellen G. White suggests that for God's, Christ's sake, as the chosen people of God, we call ourselves to task and integrate a sound financial system. So our SunPlus system is a sound system. And as you saw, the core values, we have transparency, we have visions. And so SunPlus itself as a system that is financial, it does the management for different types of entities. And along with SunPlus, we also have the Q&A, query and analysis, which is another tool that would help to exchange data between other third parties softwares. We have one, what we call executive query and analysis, and then we have also Excel and so on and so forth. So it does that interconnection. If you want to bring data from Excel to SunPlus quickly, you can use Excel, Q&A. If you want to get reports from SunPlus to any other format, you can still use Q&A to get your reports. We have the electronic documents system, which is the small brother to Laserfiche, but what it does really is collecting documents, financial documents, journals, memos, and all that, and convert them electronically. It has served us, at least for those who have used it in the time of audit. When audit comes and people were not able to travel, they would easily have access to the systems and query their journals as much as they wish. And when they maybe travel for 2-3 days and have physical access to the data, to the journals, then that will be when it's needed. But literally, it has really helped in this past period where traveling and being on site was not easy. So electronic documents is also one of the systems that we have. I knew this thing would crash at some point. It was crashing on me. Sorry for that. All right, I was done with electronic documents. So it works mostly, well, the initial plan, the initial thinking is more on the memo, but it also does all the journal and backups electronically. I know we implement it to some sites, and the sites think it will only work for the memos, but it does also work for the rest of any accounting documents. Here, we have two setup of eDocs. We have eDocs that works for the accounting office, and we have another eDoc that works for the retirement. So they have all the retirement files converted using eDocs. So it can even do the normal document management. So we have the payroll system. It's web and Windows based, and it's a system that is made in such a way that it can be customizable to any entity. I'll give you facts. I've personally attended an implementation in India. I've implemented the same in Nigeria, and I've attended some other implementation in Yemen, Adra Yemen, Adra Somalia. There's a lot of different entities, some in Southern America. And I will always say that if it works for those different setup of entities, it can't fail you. So if we'd want to say maybe it doesn't work for us, we have complicated tax law, we have different setup of things. I'm very sure it has worked for Indians, it has worked for Nigerians, well, Nigerian, yes. It has worked for Rwanda, it has worked for schools, it worked for hospitals. It's working in the US. It started actually with the North American division. So it can't fail ECD as a whole. If there's any country that would want to adopt it, it's customizable to that level, to the low level that it would suit your needs. So it has an integration with SunPlus, and it does the pay slips on emails. And the integration in SunPlus, that is more appealing to, well, when you say it, finance guys will like it more. It can pull your debit or credit balance from SunPlus statement. For us who do not report maybe on time and have a lot of debit balance and we've forgotten to report, it gives us some discipline. So I'll give you one screenshot. I don't know if it's readable enough. This was taken some time back from AUCA when I was in Rwanda, when we implemented it in the Adventist University of Central Africa. And this employee had a debit balance of 13,000 Rwandan francs. So from the payslip, it reads the statement of account in Sunplus and it puts it and act accordingly to the pay that you should get. So we have inventory register. This is suitable to book centers, ABC, HHS, and it's available. And then we also have the healthcare system, the hospital management system. So it does the patient management, it does the insurance, it does different services that you get from the hospital, it does the housekeeping, engineering, drugs, and all that, and it's also integrated with Sunplus. So when we use this system in the hospital, there's no other need to track really the money from every desk of every cash desk as we used to have. And reconciliation will not be really an issue when you want to see how much this service made today, because whatever service they give as they record is transferred to Sunplus directly. I have a few forms, the view of the system, HCS, healthcare system. Then I would also want to mention that Sunplus as a whole is designed also to suit the majority of our institutions. So whatever type of institution we have and has an accounting system, Sunplus suits it very easily. I'll give you a few statistics maybe. From our division, in 11 countries, we have 15 unions where it is implemented, and we have 215 sites in this territory. And then when it comes to who implements, well, I should congratulate NTUC. NTUC is the best. I mean, it has the most implemented number of sites. North Tanzania Union, followed by Rwanda Union Mission. I know there are many other entities that are there not implemented, but we are ready to help you and have them on board. So the most implemented vertical market, if I should say the term, is the tithe-based, the unions and fields and missions, followed by education. So this is a breakdown of the sites per type of vertical market. So we have tithe 45%, and then education 37%, and the rest are into book centers, hospitals. We have recreational facilities and so on. So thank you. This is the end of my presentation, but you will allow me to give David a microphone so that say something, maybe before we go into questions and comments.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon. Yeah, so I was to talk about the workflow and the intelligence. Okay, so the workflow, Tembi has already touched on the workflow, and we want to streamline activities that we have in the accounting setup, not only the accounting, but other departments within the entity. So Laserfiche is here to help us, but like Tembi said, it is a little bit expensive. We know we have entities that are not financially sound. Hence, we want to have something that is close to Laserfiche, but not expensive. In this sense, I'm talking about something that has been created within the Sunplus world. So IAD has started something, and we are exploring to see how best we can get that going to some of our smaller entities who are not financially sound. If, by God's grace, ECD is able to pull all our entities together, just like SID has done, we can actually harness the resources that we have and be able to go Laserfiche, where we can actually take advantage of everything that we have. We are also linking up with GCAS, where we are going to make use of the artificial intelligence, the AI, and then Power BI, where with these we can just design reports that can work everywhere. By the time you produce a financial statement, accountants will know that financial statement is historical. Most times, by the time they produce financial statement, it's about a month or 2 or 3 months. So the reports are historical, but moving forward, we want to get something that is real time, okay? And we will be able to do this with the use of Power BI and AI. So that is why we want to go into a lot of the artificial intelligence area and be able to get reports linking ACMS with our financial data to be able to get like the per capita of an entity and be able to now plan and see. Let's say within ECD, we know we have a lot of youth within the church. How do we strategize to help so that we'll be able to target the needs of the youth? We can only do this if we bring in the financial and the statistical data from the membership software. Then we'll be able to make good use of the data that we have. The data will not be meaningful, like Tembi and the other presenters have said, if they don't impact the work that we do as a church. So let me now allow you to ask the questions, if there are any. Then from there, we will take it up from there. Remember, we did not go much into the cloud, but samplers, we have a cloud environment, just like what SID is having. And with this cloud environment, at the moment, we have over 450 sites that are already on it. The entire IAD, Inter-America division, is on the cloud, on the samplers cloud. And it is good when the entire division is there, because if they want to produce any report, someone can sit at the division office and have access to everything. And it helps in decision making to look at how best we can help our entities. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks so much, David. So maybe before we go into questions and comments, I want to mention that all these systems that we have, they are free. I know we had reports from different unions, what they've been able to achieve, what they've programmed, but I've also learned another definition from Tembi of innovation. If you can't program, borrow something from someone, make it beautiful, own it, and then present it. So when I say we've implemented these things, it's not that it's really implemented everywhere. And all we need is your participation in implementing them. They are here. Some people really took their time to program them, to have them up and running. But if you do not have the sense of ownership, if you do not have the understanding of the need then it won't help anyone. So we're really doing this I would say that I would not have really presented the list of systems that we've implemented as a samplers office. It would have been really as IT, but because we know the real engine to implement them would be you, that's why I've just listed them here. So any system that is available here is free, but we can't implement it if we do not have your support. You need to be there, advocate for them, understand why you need it, of course, because if you do not need it and you don't understand it, from the division we can just push it and have it successfully implemented. So I'll allow some questions if there's any. Okay. There's one from.
I have just two questions. As you said, Sun Plus is free. I don't know if you can have source code.
Okay. Let me withdraw my statement. I'm so sorry. Let's assume as if you didn't hear that statement. Sun Plus is, well, it's not free. The rest of the plus, okay, Sun is not free, Plus is free. So, as I said, maybe I mentioned it in a very funny way, and it didn't really click what I wanted to mean. We have the Sun as the Sun Plus financials, and now the Plus is the free ones. So talk about eDocs, talk about payroll, talk about hospital management, talk about those other ones. But Sun Plus is not free, though it's close to be free, because if you go on Google and see the price of InfoSun systems compared with the money we pay per year, it's next to free, but it's not free. Thank you.
My second question, for us who customize some system for manage some universities or secondary school, we want sometimes deal with some data about the payment of student. What is the recommendation you can give us to connect our system with the database of Sun system? Because we have problem to interconnect our customized system to Sun Plus, because they use SQL Server as TBMS. Okay, that's my question.
I will delegate David to reply to this. He has a...
Okay, if you want to read information from the database, it is allowed. But to write to the database, no. We can give you access to read, but not access to write to the database, because everything we have in Sun Plus, we check, we have business rules that check everything that is coming. You may bring in a foreign, if I say foreign, so to speak, foreign code that is not already created. And if you are writing directly to the SQL, we don't have any means to validate before you write to the SQL database. That is why those who, okay, it wasn't here. We have a tool that you can use if you want to write to the database that will help to validate the data that you are bringing. So that way we can allow you to read, but not to write.
Yeah.
Okay, so like he said, I just want to put it simple. We can allow you to read, not to write.
Because it's finance data after all. And then,
yes.
And then I think if we would use an IT term, a programming term, the data integrity can't just be open to receive anything. So that's why we don't allow any writing easily, but reading. But anyways, there's also an API that is called Sun Plus Connect. Someone from Baraton would agree with me. They've been testing it. It's almost done. But it has also been tested in other entities, mostly education purposes, because you'll be on the door checking who has paid, who has not paid. And when someone is on the door ready to do an exam, maybe his or her parent is paying at the bank. So by the time he's paying, he doesn't have to miss an exam. It's simple that he's paid and everything reflects in Sun Plus and you're good to go. So Baraton is working on that. It's an API that is also comes, that plugin comes with a certain payment, but it's doable. Yes, thank you. I'll go next to Brother. Then after him, you. Him first. Okay. Here, then. Okay. Hagai, I have 3 more questions coming, please, if the time is okay. Please,
Okay.
go ahead.
Thank you. Just some 2 questions. One is that the 2 systems that you have showcased that run with Sun, that is the payroll and hospital management system, they are available in which version of Sun? And then another question is that why is it that you have never taken time to at least educate us on these 2 systems? Because we, like for instance, we run payroll that we heavily pay from another vendor. And if yours is free, then why is it that you have never taken time to show us so that we probably prod it and give the good news to our institutions? Thank you.
Well, the first question was which version of Sun Plus? So these are independent system, but integrated with Sun Plus. So they are not really linked to any version of Sun Plus. So any version that you would have with Sun Plus can work with those systems because they are independent, so to say. Now, I think last time when I presented such a thing with the treasurers, I also told them maybe the audience that I have access to is wrong, or I don't know, I'm doing it wrong, because this thing has been presented to Sun Plus coordinators from the union. Now, another thing is, I would maybe break this secret, but we said instead of us traveling to your entities and everything, they would rather budget for ITs in every entity, so that any system we introduce, you will understand better and then advocate for it. So honestly speaking, no offense, but the people I've presented to, maybe they've not been really in position to share it with you, but let me crucify one person here. Marandi, Washington, have I not presented this to you guys? So yes, we've done the presentation, but it's probably that the channel has not been smooth and get straight to you, but the union Sun Plus coordinators, both accounting side and IT side, they all know. But now is the occasion that every IT is here and you understand the technology better than those accountants, because most of the Sun Plus union coordinators are in other offices, being associate treasurers, senior accountants. They're overwhelmed already with their work. And when you tell them this IT solution that is coming, they don't grab it right away. But now you know. So the ball is now on your side. Yes, please.
All right. As we now think about importing Laserfiche from South Africa, I want to ask, is there a way you can try and incorporate the CFMS with this system, now that we are talking about financial issues here, so that we don't need to be having 2 financial apps? And this one, I think it might work better and efficiently. Thank you.
Okay, well, one, Haga is outside, he would have responded properly and in the right way. But the reason of CFMS really is that Sun Plus can't work on the local church level. So the only easy way to have that level controlled is to have another system. If you've seen Sun Plus, it runs on a server. It should have interconnection. It should have clients' machines. So on a local church, you won't tell them, please buy a server for a collection of every other Sabbath. So what we've done is, what has been decided is having Sun Plus on the legal entities, the legal church entities, mission, fields, unions, and all, and any other entities. But when it comes to CFMS, it goes down now to the local church level, because CFMS doesn't serve so much a union. A union just reads data that has been taken from the local churches. So yes, I understand that we should not have many systems working for one purpose, but where it's possible, yeah, we can adopt. I know Tembi said CFMS in ACMS, and ACMS that is here can still link with SunPlus. So yeah, we will also work on that. The other question was...
Il y avait ici.
Okay.
Quand vous écoutez déjà français, c'est bon.
Okay.
C'est en rapport avec les données que nous entrons dans SunPlus. Vous allez voir qu'il y a plusieurs débits à attrait et vous allez créditer surtout pour les monnaies locales. Alors, à la fin, quand vous voulez poster, pendant que le montant est exact à celui du débit et des crédits, vous allez trouver qu'il y a des différences. Et ça vous empêche d'avoir des erreurs. Vous êtes obligé de revérifier et souvent, vous allez trouver c'est le débit qui est soit inférieur au crédit, avec une valeur de 0,01 ou soit 0,02. Quand vous augmentez soit au niveau, et vous allez voir que ça balance et vous pouvez poster facilement. Ça, c'est la première erreur que nous avons toujours racontée. Il y a également la deuxième question en rapport avec une transaction, bon, peut-être un journal que vous voulez faire attrait dans un mois qui est déjà passé. Et il peut y arriver que vous oubliez ou soit par erreur, vous voulez poster pendant que vous n'avez pas changé la période de crédit, soit de débit, et vous voulez passer, ça passe comme ça, et le montant, cette transaction est postée dans une période qu'il ne fallait pas, qu'il ne devait pas être posté. Ce sont des difficultés que nous rencontrons. Je ne sais pas peut-être s'il y a déjà une solution par rapport à ça, ou bien ce sont des erreurs dues à la configuration.
Well, I'll paraphrase the questions, but they are more technical and more on Eve and Felix and Fred's side, because it's more of support and specific. In SunPlus, he's talking about, entries when it's different currencies and it's not balancing here, and then, so that one I can continue in English, right? Okay. So because the question comes from French, I'll reply it in French. Je disais que c'est plus unique et technique par rapport à SunPlus. Et alors là, on ne peut pas vraiment aller en détail de ça. Mais quand c'est multi-currency, il y a toujours les exchanges qui doivent être vérifiés. Ça, peut-être, si vous avez un problème quelconque, pareil, contactez sa pote, on a toujours des solutions. Ils sont là 24 heures et 6 jours. Et sur le problème des périodes, he was saying about periods you've posted in a wrong period. Well, one thing I've read where I started working for the church was a whole list of things when they say an error of this and the result of it. So one of the errors they were talking about, an error of a doctor is a death of a patient. But an error of an accountant is what? Reverse and post the proper transaction. So if you've posted in a wrong period, do the right thing of the accountant. So they know better. Don't worry about that, but they know. So si jamais il y a une période qui n'est pas ouverte, et
on extourne l'écriture. Je pensais qu'il y avait un message, parce que dans les versions précédentes, comme s'il y avait des messages erreurs qui apparaissaient.
Oh, okay. Well, en fait, in SunPlus, there are those errors that they are easy errors to know, but they can't know which period you are running. The system, the robot is so stupid. If you decide to say, ask the Ethiopians which year they are in. The system will not argue with you. So if you say, my period today is period 5 of 2024, it will swallow that. It can't know and it won't tell you. So for that one, just accountant will know what to do. So I will accept another question. There was another. You're writing many questions now. All right, microphone. then this is the last one.
Yes, thank you for this chance. I'm Collins from Kendo Adventist Hospital, and I'm particularly concerned about the hospital management information systems. And the question from my colleague there actually made me get the information that I want and to be able to know if it is integrated or it is part of SunPlus and how we can make great use of it. So another thing that is also of interest is the SunPlus Cloud. Yeah, it is great, and I think we should move to that level. And my question is now about procurement. Do we have a module in SunPlus that is able to aid us in the procurement process from requisition to acquisition?
Okay, so maybe before I answer, I'll allow Elder Olana.
Thank you, Brother Innocent, especially from the Treasury Department. I want to thank Elder David and the team and the Innocent. But my comment is not to answer the question. Let us not mix SunPlus and IT. We just get an information from the SunPlus what we do for our church. Just as an IT, what we must know. So if the SunPlus and IT are here, I think we would have go to the detail what SunPlus can do in this platform. So I would suggest that this question is not relevant to this audience so that we can deal when the subject matter comes to the right person. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so we'll disqualify one question and take another one, and David will be crucified for the cloud. Please give us more information about the SunPlus Cloud. SunPlus Cloud.
Okay. The cloud is in operation, and if you want to enroll, we have a form that can be given through the division office, because we want the division to be aware that an entity within their environment or within their territory is on the cloud. And we have monthly fees that you will pay per user. So when you apply, we give you all the details, then you'll be able to enroll onto the cloud. I don't know if I answered your question. Yeah.
Thank you so much. If there's no other question, I'll want to thank you all and wish you the best. And for all the softwares that we've presented, you have the SunPlus office contacts. You can contact us, or you can go through Haggai, who also helps us in the technical side of SunPlus. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brother Innocent. In case you still have any further questions during our breaks, you can still engage with the team. And I want to appreciate you working very closely with SunPlus department, and that has brought a lot of success. So between now and 4, we're going to have a report from the last report that we didn't have yesterday from West Kenya. After the report of 10 minutes, 5 minutes we'll spend with Kahoot. Those who were here yesterday will know what it means. Then after that, about 5, we'll have Brother Richard doing a presentation, the wrap-up for the presentation. Then I'll come, after 30 minutes, I'll come and do something on CFMS. and then we'll go to the closing ceremony. We should be out of here by 5:20. Thank you. John, please come.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Yeah, don't worry. They're just here to give me moral support. When we talk of West Kenya, we are a team of a good number. And we learn from each other. The only thing that they learn from me is how to be 1 GB. But how to remain lean forever. Thank you so much. West Kenya Union Conference is among the 2 unions in Kenya. I'll do some visual graphics and I'll be quick. And if you look at the map of Kenya, seemingly we took the smaller portion of it. The one on this is the part that West Kenya takes care of. That's the western part of Kenya. We were generous enough, in case you want to visit, you can pick the coordinates. We welcome you. So that's West Kenya for you. I picked the ugliest picture. Actually, it's our building that is not so neat. If I had to put their pictures, mine would look outdated, so I decided to do that. So West Kenya, we have quite a number of organizations. There's a reason why I'm giving you this background. There are quite a number. I've not listed the secondary schools, some of the dispensaries and hospitals that we have. And since the Sun Plus team was here, I'd also like to mention that we have, by end of this month, probably, Innocent, if you allow, and if you implement the 3 sites, then we'll be having 30 Sun Plus sites within West Kenya Union Territory. So this is the team. I think they can admire their photos and then sit down after admiring their photos. But we are quite a number, and we work as a team, and we just love working as a team. I believe that when it comes to IT, there's no monopoly of knowledge. There are things that he knows that I probably don't know, so we love sharing and collaborating together. So this is the team from West Kenya Union Conference. We are yet to bring more. For the past 2-3 years, we've been focusing on building capacity, building the team. And now that we feel we've built the team, we are ready to venture into another objective. Thank you so much. So that was just, by the way, we normally have some trainings and seminars as a team, okay, to brainstorm on various issues. Okay. This team, as they'll be sitting down, we are very intentional. And in line with the focus of the church, we don't want to be sitting on the bench. I'll be different from the previous presentations. We'll focus more on how we can do mission through technology. And in fact, the way you see them here, August of this year, we are planning not only to be, many times we evangelize indirectly, but this time in August, we'll also try and even to plant a church, okay, going out and doing mission through different ways as a team. And in that line also, we have developed a concept for discipleship, which will soon be an app, such that we can reclaim members. We can nurture, retain, and reclaim members. We have realized that we do bring in members, especially in our region. I'm not sure about the rest, but we do have members coming in, but to retain them is a problem. So we've worked on a concept that will help us come up with the system. We have software developers in the team. We have good system analysts. They will help us, and they're already in the process to help us come up with a program that we can use to be disciples. And in that way, we'll not only be spectators, we'll get out of our benches and make disciples. So that's what I've just mentioned about discipleship. So that's our focus, so that we just don't be antisocial, sitting down, working on systems all the time. In this quinquennium, our focus is on discipleship as a team and as a union in West Kenya. So the app will influence a very powerful process. That means once a member, or once whoever will download the app, you can use it to make a disciple and recruit other disciples. So, you know, when you're making a disciple, it's not about just a crusade. You go preach and you don't follow up to know their spiritual, the progress they're making spiritually. And it's mature and it's coming soon. The next thing that we are focusing on, and we have an institution within West Kenya Union Conference, though it's called by Kenya, both Kenya unions, but we take pride that we have more shares because it sits within our territory. University of Eastern Africa, Baraton. There's a project that they're running, and we are also doing it just next to the union. We are evangelizing through community internet hotspots. Brother Thembi mentioned something about it yesterday, and I was scared that now, if he keeps talking, he will say everything that I wanted to say. Because in Baraton, they have partnered with the ISPs, some internet service providers. They provide internet to community. It's a program that they're still rolling out. And they are making it in such a way that before you log in, there's something that will force you. It will prompt you, if it's not a message, a special message, that will touch your heart, but will keep you coming back and getting more. So we want to use that strategy to reach out to the community. And within West Kenya, we are also having a similar plan. That's our office. I think I can probably show you a better view on Google Earth. Just in a minute, I will be quick. Okay. I should probably show you this. West Kenya Union Conference, and how we intend to impact the community around. So this is our office. If you go to, this is our office in West Kenya. So if you can see around, it's not densely populated as such, but we have communities living around. We also have an interest somewhere. I don't know whether I'm too fast. We also have an interest somewhere up here, where I'm pointing, where my cursor is roaming. So we intend to impact this community around here we'll create some hotspots with messages. So if you log in, there'll be a way to at least get your attention to access certain message, a special message that will lead you or will help us reach you and initiate that the disciple-making process easily. So that's one area of focus that we are really keen on as IT department. As a IT department. Okay. All right, that's the team. Now, other than the mission part that we intend to do, we as a IT team, this is like our daily bread, supporting the support work. So we support the media ministry. We are keen on this. There's an Android app that we are developing very recently. That was last month. We installed a radio station within our headquarters. It's called Kings FM 90.4. That takes care of our Kisumu region. We also have other radio stations that we do support. So we are working on their Android app. We support our media ministries through technology. We develop for them the apps. And by the way, those were some of them were IT guys that were installing their antennas up there. So we're doing the streaming sites, at least to help them reach their audience. We also supported our medias to come up with what we call Skiza tunes. So Skiza tunes, they develop a ringback tone that when callers, entertain callers, whenever you make a call, you're able to get a Bible verse or a special message that will touch a soul. So we partnered with some Skiza content aggregators, and we were able to develop some Skiza tunes. I hope the residents, you know what Skiza tunes are. Those are ringback tones. When you call someone, you're able to listen to the tunes. We also have Baraton TV doing a good work, Baraton radio station. Those are some of the media ministries that we do support. And Baraton is a unique one because I believe team, is that so? It's actually managed, but it's the IT team that actually runs the TV, the Baraton TV. We also have ours. So the Baraton, they market the university through the TV, and it enables the students to remotely attend university events. Okay. Yes. And for midweek prayers, the worship, the Vespers, all that is streamed through the Baraton ministry. Now, another key area that we are focusing on this year and the years to come is to raise user awareness trainings. We have learned through our sessions here that training is key. Training. And this is one area that we are really keen on, and we want to continue training our users, training our staff. Normally, we try, I have to confess that sometimes we are not consistent on it. We try to at least train the staff quarterly, once in a quarter. But this year, from this year onward, we are very intentional to make it as regular as possible. There's something else, Brother Thembi. Thembi was talking about organizational, the business emails, and I was like, Thembi might have is diluting my presentation, because we at some point also came across the site that Thembi had mentioned about our church, the email issue and the hacking that happened. And we are very serious as West Kenya. We are keen to ensure that all our organizations, out of the 16 institutions that we have a registered and official business email. Okay, so far we only have 5. The 10 are on board. Currently we use Google for NGOs, that's what we have. So a good number, all of our entities are on, they use, when they send you a mail, you won't see those funny email addresses of 00, FP something. So that's an area we are also keen on. And I'm just going quick. Another plan that we have, it's on Top Gear. We are working with the stewardship director of West Kenya Union Conference to come up with an Adventist technology hub. We want to mentor, we want to bring up the young ones, teach them, mentor them, build up a hub that they can come and enhance their skills and use them for the glory of God. We have identified a location, one of our fields. So this is one of the major projects that we plan to carry out. I would have mentioned another one, but I guess someone would have thought it's being overambitious, so I'll mention it next time. We do have education, the major educational institution that resides within our union is University of Eastern Africa, Baraton, but we have Kamagambo and quite a number of institutions. So the university, there are so many projects that we are running. They've come up with a new in-house student management system. It's in testing mode. Students are able to apply and pay through M-Pesa. We have integrated, and I'm happy that one of our key developers is here. We have Timothy Gutu. Yes, he is very much instrumental in that. Student management system, it includes, even the grading system. We have, those are some of the projects that we are running in Baraton, University of Eastern Africa, Baraton. We have biometric finger identification system that they use at the cafeteria, cafeteria, all the points at the gate, I think at the gate, at the entrance. So we have a way of, ensuring that whenever we want to access certain details, or we want to even count, sometimes in our institutions we have to do the head count. We don't do it manually now. We have a system to help us on that. An online appointment that uses the near-field communication. It's enabled with a phone app. So it marks in class, lecturers are able to mark if a student is present or not through the NFC. So the system facilitates student access to food in the cafeteria and even in the exam room before they come in for exams. Those are some of the systems that we have in our educational system. There are quite a number. I don't want to repeat. There are some that if were not presented earlier, we would have presented a concept that might have reinvented the wheel. So I thank the Southern Tanzania Union. There's a very beautiful concept they presented but we are also thinking the same line. So I know we'll work together on that. And finally, this is something this is now, it's obvious, support will always come. As an IT system administration, the network issues, those are common tasks that we do handle. But our focus is on mission. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening, and may God bless you. Okay. Thank you. Now, let me invite Philip. I'm not doing another union presentation. I'm just inviting you to go to kahoot.it so that we see if
While my brother is setting up, when we implemented the use of official emails, I was reminded about that strategy. People resisted. They kept using their private email. You know what we did? We blocked them. We put them on a blacklist. You can't email us. We're using your personal email to the official email. So people were using their personal. We realized, okay, so these people are resisting change. We went and we put, they couldn't come and complain because the policy is very clear. So you might need that tip if people refuse to keep using their emails and to switch to the official. You just block them. Then they can't email, no expense reports coming, nothing coming. Then once it touches your pocket, you start, you start thinking straight.
I think we are ready. Are you there? You're waiting for the pin? Okay. 782-3800. We had a request yesterday that we include French questions. So today you need to fasten your seatbelts because we have the English speakers. It's your turn today to make another request for our future. Okay. 29. So the questions are in French, translated to English. So feel free to participate. We have 41. Oh, Mato is there today. Mato. Disclaimer, I wasn't giving him answers. Okay, are we good to go? We are 51. Okay, all right. We have 6 questions today. Are there 6 or 7? Yes, 6. Okay. The pin, game pin 782-3800. Okay. Let's see if you can get to 60. All right. Let's start. Question number 1. Very easy. I even know the answer before I read the question. True or false? Okay. That French line, okay. Richard Stevenson is the GCIT director. Okay. I know the answer. Please take your time. Don't hurry, press the wrong button only to realize you have 10 more seconds. Okay, 2 seconds, 1. All right. The correct answer is there for you. Let's go to the next question. But before then, that's our scoreboard. We have number 1 with the 981 points. Okay. KO is also there. Senobi, the guy, Izuba. Let's go to the next question. True or false? I don't know how to read that, but I can read the second part. Edox is another name for... So you all know French. I can see you. Time up. The correct answer is there. Let's see our scoreboard. KO is coming up. Senobi, all right. Let's go to the next question. The CDIT journey began in 2005. I think that blue color looks good, or should it be red? Someone needs help. Huh? Okay, the correct answer is there. Izuba is coming up strongly. All right, next question, true or false? Rwanda has 2 unions. Okay. Are those answers? There's a sound coming from the speaker. The answer's coming, flowing. 53 out of 55. I think 2 people might need some help because... Next question, let's get to the scoreboard. Izubai, okay. Next, we have 2 more. You can redeem yourself. Sorry. If you tapped on the wrong one, sorry, there's no button to go back. Sorry. Someone is looking at the program. Okay, let's get to the scoreboard. All right, okay. Next question. Which country has the highest number of pyramids? Well, that, just to challenge you a bit.
Is it the Great Pyramids?
Yeah, the Great Pyramids.
Or the 7 Wonders? I don't know.
Sorry. No one submitted for you. You have your device, sir. Okay, next. Oh, okay, the last question. No, it was there yesterday, so if you don't get it today, I think you might need the intervention of... So someone had mastered the location of the answer, that it should be somewhere else. Sorry. You have 18 seconds. That's enough time to remember. Okay. So we'll have 3 winners. I think Agai has something special for you. Let's start with number 3. Number 3, we have who's Sidio? Okay, congratulations. And She? Where's She? Che.
Oh.
Okay, and winner?
Somebody called himself a winner.
Well, let's go to number 4. Okay. Haggai is the winner, so would that be fair? No, but yet no. Actually, this thing, the questions were not set by Haggai, so I know he has won twice, so don't. He's not the one setting questions. But Haggai, just allow us to give it to number 4. Yes. So number 4, okay. Number 4, you should have your results. Who is number 4? Okay. Number 4. Okay, let me invite Haggai without wasting much time. Thank you so much for participating. You'll have something. We have something for you. Okay, number 5 is there. After the game, you should see your position. Thank you so much for participating. Is Uber. Number 5 is Uber. Number 4, KO. ONN.
Thank you so much, John and Philip. Let's clap for them for the good work done. If you don't sleep in class, you get all these questions right. Number 2, you have to be keen. Right? You have to be very keen. Otherwise, you may know the right answer but choose the wrong answer. In IT, choosing a wrong answer may mean you are crashing the plane. You are crashing a database. So it's always good to follow instructions. I want to invite Brother Richard to come for the wrap-up before I come.
Thank you, Haggai. I wanted to just share a thought with you. It's very interesting to think that when our church was founded, when this great movement started, it was started by teenagers. Are you aware of this? Mrs. White was a teenager. Jan Andrews was a teenager. John Loughborough was a teenager. We could keep going through the list. 17 years old, 18 years old, 19 years old. They got together and the Spirit of God moved them in this mission that is now the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And what's interesting is Mrs. White, in her writing, says that God specifically told them, this group of young people, God specifically told them to use every technology that was available to them. It's hard to think today of the printing press as being cutting-edge technology. Are you with me? But the printing press was cutting-edge technology. For the church to operate its own press, that was cutting edge. And for the brochures of the church, for the messages of the church, for the magazines of the church to be distributed like the leaves of autumn, that was cutting edge for the church. And our church, of course, has had many other firsts. In America, for example, it was the Adventist Church that did the first nationwide coast-to-coast radio station. It was the Adventist Church that did the first television, religious television show. The Adventist Church has continued to be progressive when it comes to using technology. And here's my challenge for us. I am convinced with all my heart that the Lord uses technology to finish this work. We stand in a position that we have never been in before. So much has changed as a result of COVID. So many things have changed within our church in just a short period of time. And what I want to challenge us is, let's not settle for status quo. Let's continue to push and to use new technologies, to use new ways of reaching people. Let's continue to be aggressive, if I can use that word. Let's continue to be assertive about how we can utilize technology to advance the gospel of Jesus Christ. Our church needs you. We are so thankful for you. We're thankful for the commitment that you've made. And I spoke to this commitment this morning. Let's continue to push as much as we can, as the Spirit moves us, no further, but no less than as the Spirit moves us. Let's utilize the technologies that we have available. You know, there are lots of people that tell us that things can't be done. They tell us that things can't happen. If you read early writings from Mrs. White, she talks about how people told her, you can't operate a printing press. That's way too advanced for the church to do, this small little movement. And yet God used them because they put the Lord first, and they were following where He led them. And so that's my challenge for you as we conclude this ICT Congress, our time together as technologists, as digital ministers, is let's continue to look at what is advancing in the technology space, and let's use that technology to spread the gospel of Jesus. Let's continue to look to see what's coming and to use it to spread the gospel of Jesus. As long as the mission of the church is foremost, then technology can play that role to support the mission of the church. And so let's keep that mission first and foremost, seeking to save lost lives. And praise the Lord, I know that He will use us in a very, very special way. I want to thank Haggai for inviting me to this. What a blessing it has been. And I look forward to coming to future events. I look forward to being part of the team and to help move forward as a church. Don't ever forget that you are part of a global movement, a movement that was started by our Lord Himself. And this movement has one destination, and that is to see Jesus coming in the clouds of glory and to hear Him say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. That day is coming, and He's asked us to be faithful to work in the vineyard that He has given to us. So let's be faithful. Let's ask the Lord to make us faithful in the vineyards that He has given us. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Brother Richard, for the inspiring words of encouragement. We pray that God may continue using you. Thank you. I'd like Philip and John to display a QR code. Please get your QR scanners ready. I want you to scan when they display it, a survey form. Not really a survey form, but we want to categorize you in different groups. So there's some questions that you're going to answer, and it's going to make it easy for us to know which areas we need to group you in. So in a moment, it will come on the screen. If you're having an iPhone, then you don't need to install a QR code scanner. It comes with a camera. But if you are using Android, please, and you don't have it, just have it ready. All right, so you can scan it, please. It will open for you the web page to fill in. It's a Google form. All right, have you opened it? Yeah, it takes just a minute to... Or permission, can you grant permission for everyone? Hmm? Just grant permission for access for everyone. If you are on the WhatsApp group for the IT experts in the territory, then the link is already there also. But otherwise, you scan it and anyone who has opened it? Permission, huh? Check permission, please. All right, Philip, you can come. We do something else as John sorts out that. Okay. As they sort out that, listen to the announcements. After we are done today, we'll proceed for sports, those who are still interested. Then tomorrow by 8 a.m., tomorrow 8 a.m. we'll meet after breakfast near the flag post, all right, for a tour downtown. So please make sure you're there by 7:50. 8 a.m. is departure. 8 a.m. is departure. You can be as early as 7:45, but 8 a.m. will be departure. Okay? We'll be back by lunchtime here. We'll have our lunch. Then as we have our lunch, we'll have a short session of 30 minutes. Tomorrow, 30 minutes. Then after that, I know some people are leaving in the evening. by around 8 or 7 p.m., so they'll be free to start going. But the majority of us are leaving on Friday morning. So we'll take care of that. If you need to confirm anything about your drop-off to the airport or bus station, please make sure you check that with Philip. But if your itinerary has not changed, then we'll use the data you had submitted to us. Right. As he sets up that, I want to say something about CFMS. And I want us to be very attentive on these IT people, because IT experts play a very important role in this program. When you are thinking of how to automate the church process, CFMS idea came to us, and discussing it with the leaders, the division, we said we want to truly automate this process, not just a way to receipt money on Sabbath, but giving people the convenience of giving any time of the day. I was checking statistics, and I saw yesterday in Kenya, 3,500 people gave tithe and offering. Yesterday was Tuesday. That was trust fund. So we desire to automate this process in such a way that it offers that convenience. I'm glad to say that we've made progress. We are still heading there. I would say that maybe we've only hit 30% of what we want to do with CFMS. Right now, why I put on the screen on my right, finance in a hybrid church. We are talking about people being able to meet on Sabbath. But we are talking about, because of the unpredictable nature of our times, we never know when a lockdown can come, right? So whether in church, in a physical congregation, or we are not able to come to church, we should be able to return our tithe and offering, giving through worship. And since CFMS came, we have seen that people enjoy the convenience with which it comes. Right now, as we speak, any moment, almost every minute, someone is giving through CFMS, because we base our giving mostly on mobile money, and soon we are also going to have the card payment. You remember when COVID came, the government zero-rated the transferring of funds from the mobile money to the bank and bank to mobile money. But as of last week, I think 2 weeks ago, the charges are coming back. So then we want to make it easy that you can send money from your bank account to the receiving account. And how does it happen? As IT folks, we need to understand the technical bit. And I want to talk so that you can look at me and understand it without even seeing what's on my screen first before I show you something. Our database is integrated with the bank core system. And it took a lot of discussion and security tests for them to be comfortable to share with us the API that does that. So CFMS is intelligent enough that it knows that when I give tithe, the tithe should be channeled to the local conference or local field. And so right now we've achieved a status where that money instantly is settled to the local conference account, any trust fund that you give through CFMS. Any money that you give for your local church, the moment you put your secret PIN and the deduction is done from your wallet, that money goes to the local church account instantly. And the treasurers are able to view the reports instantly. Now that's where we have reached. It's not been a walk in the park, because even the bank agreeing to give us the API for auto settlement, we started by collecting, let's say, 2,000, 3,000, it went to hundreds of thousands, 1 million, 2 million, sometimes we do 7 million or 10 million in one day. And the bank policy, they don't allow such kind of settlement in one day. So they had to allow us to be able to have that advantage because they saw that this is a new system that can also benefit their public perception of supporting religious sector. So that's where we have reached. But something else that is very important, we are not saying that CFMS locks out those who bring cash to the envelopes. We receive the cash, we count it, then after counting it and receipting it through the system, the church member gets a receipt as a text message. At the moment they get a receipt as a text message, a code is generated. A code is generated that speaks the language of the bank. So at the end of the day, after the treasurer has collected, and the system shows that he has collected, let's say, for example, 50,000 Kenya shillings tithe, then he wants to take this money to the bank using a feature called transfer. The system asks you, how do you want to transfer it? Do you want to go to the teller? Do you want to use your M-Pesa or mobile money, or which way? If you say you want to go to the teller, it gives you a transaction reference. When you give that to the teller and he keys it in, that money is settled in the relevant targeted account. This has been tested and is working. Let me show you, I know there are first-timers in CFMS. Just have a look at my screen. Let me first log in as... we call this a digital envelope. So what you would already do by writing on paper, you have it online. So that's my name, and you can see the different categories. That is for trust fund. This also helps us to standardize trust funds because when we started implementing this system, we realized that people have a lot of, sorry, I don't know why this thing is, yeah, it's okay. People have so many categories on the envelopes that confuse our members. You go to church, I went to a country in Uganda, sorry for using that example. They had almost 20, different categories. So I asked myself, if I came with 1,000 shillings, where do I put this? There's lunch, there's welfare, there's what, all these things. Why don't we standardize? Because the church encourages, combined offering that helps to drive the local church processes. And that's why by automating these processes and teaching people, we are getting there slowly by slowly. So this is a digital envelope. That's the first entry point. The next thing that I want to show you is members have the liberty now of generating their personal statements. You choose a period over which you want to generate your statement. Then you don't have to wait for the local church treasurer to send you a statement. Like that's my statement. It shows the balance carried forward and all the entries are there. The next thing I want to show you, then I stop for now, is when you log in as church personnel, there are different things we are working on. I talked about receipting and reconciliation. If you go to receipting, then it asks you whether you want to receipt for a church member, visiting member, guest, group, family, department, or institution. All these are covered. Then there is also transfers. What do you want to transfer? If I have money, then it asks me which method do I want to use. Then I have reports and statements. You can either get member statement or local church statement and report. So basically what we're trying to do is to offer convenience and efficiency and reliability. Because when we are moving around training people, we realize some of our members stopped returning tithe and offering because they don't trust the manual system. I have testimonies, people who have told me, before this, I gave up. Because sometimes I would put money in the envelope. If I put a little amount, I get my receipt. If I put this amount, somehow the receipt doesn't come to me. So meaning it's not recorded. And there are a whole lot of things. There's a church we went to, and the conference president used to be a local church pastor for that district. Then going through the records, he realized that the money had gone down to almost 0.01% that month. Then checking, then they realized that local church treasurer is colluding with the elder in charge of treasury, and they're bringing to the church board fake bank deposits. So how can that continue? By us automating this process. Our desire, our dream, is to fully develop this system to what we want. You as IT people, and I want all the IT people from the conferences, please look at me now, I'm talking to you. If you had not taken this one seriously, okay? And as I talk about this, I'm also talking with ACMS in mind and SunPlus. If you are not taking this one seriously, thinking it's for someone else, please take it up seriously from today. When I presented the journey of IT in ECD, I said there's only much that we can do because now the field is wide. We cannot be everywhere. Some of you are doing an excellent job. You know, to be a pioneer is not easy because the challenges are so many. And some gave up on day one, and I know that. But some said, however much their challenges, we are moving forward with it. So I want us to, today, after we get the different categories where you belong, there's a team of developers here who will be working with our team of developers to start owning this process. Okay? Let's sharpen our skills. Let's work together. We want people in this auditorium who can just help in quality assurance. Just saying that what you've agreed on has been done or has not been done. That is the direction we are taking. But I want to say kudos to you for the support we have received. Last year in Kenya, we transacted tithe, trust fund of 1.1 billion Kenya shillings on this platform. All right? If you compare that to the previous year, 2021, we did about 300 million. That was 3 times. So how about this year? Let's continue working. And you know, it makes the life of the treasurer very easy. Because I don't know if, has any one of you here worked in the treasury department of the local church? Let me see. It's a job that if you do year one, you don't want to do it again, right? Tembi? Yeah, the way you're shaking your head. You do it once, you don't want to do it again. Because like I used to be in a big church called New Life, is almost 3,000. And I was serving as a deacon, and when you are assigned that Sabbath, you don't feel good. Your kids will not see you, your wife will not see you until evening, sometimes until the following day. So I'd like us to be the drivers of this. I'd like us to be deliberate on this. So I didn't want to go to a lot of details about this, but I wanted to tell you that Kenya is now getting stable. And now our focus in Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, DRC, Ethiopia, and Burundi, in an order that we will be able to tell you. But please get involved. Jesus is coming soon. Get involved. All right? Get involved. Once you get the information, use it, support, don't sleep on the job. We are getting close to ending our session. Philip, if you can check where Elder Jerome is, maybe, to ask him to come. As he does that, a lot of things have been said in this forum. Notes were taken. I'm sure you took a lot of notes. I want to encourage you to go back a changed person. All right? Please don't go back as you came. All that was said, pick one thing that you want to implement, even if it's just a culture change or mindset. And that's where to begin. What you thought was impossible, it has been demonstrated to you now that it's possible, so long as you work hard. The network that you've created here, we are going to leverage on that to make sure that you bring IT services to the standards we have ever desired. One thing, the last thing I want to encourage you, please stay focused on your goal, IT folks. Do so with a lot of integrity. Don't be a subject of investigation of funds which are lost. Please don't. Okay? When you are entrusted to purchase it as the price quoted. Do not ask the vendor to add something for you. That will bring curses to you. Don't bring curses to you. I always say that the salary in church may not look six-figure like out there where we used to work. It's little, but it comes with a lot of blessings. It's amazing. You find you're able to buy food, your children go to school until university, they get jobs. But if you have the appetite of wanting to dig, then you're inviting curses to yourself. Please do your work with a lot of integrity. Number two, make yourself visible. If you have been doing just this until they think you should be taken to be a cashier or a typist, make yourself visible now. Elder Thembi said something that, look at even the audit report. And if the auditors say that maybe the IT service or something is lacking here, look for an IT solution that can come in to fix it. The last one, all these things that has been talked about, SunPlus, eDocs, and all that, it means we don't want you to reinvent wheels. If you've seen something that somebody has showcased here, what you do, let's discuss it further. If it's working for them, it can work for you. If they're using it and you feel it can be developed further, then we can still have that forum to discuss it. But if somebody is doing or developing a school management system in East Kenya, don't start another one in North Tanzania. It's a waste of the resources. We are few. We are not so many in our offices. But if you're going to work as a team, we are going to win. So thank you so much. I'd like to invite Daulana to present some gifts to our presenters. Daulana, please, if you can come. Elder Jerome is not in the hall. We have a token of appreciation to Elder Richard and also Elder Thembi. So Nicole, Philip, please bring them. Maybe Elder Lana can make a statement.
Good evening. I don't know what Brother Agai want to say, but since my boss is coming, I leave the farewell or the closing remarks, but I I just want to thank you for attending this ICT Congress. And I'm happy to see this giant number of IT in our ECD territory. So my duty is to process the gift, as it has been said. But if my boss will not come, I do the closing remarks. Thank you.
Tembi, please come. Those with good cameras, David, can you take a photo, please, and share? I see the media team are not here. So just hold on for a nice photo there. Thank you so much, Elder Thembi. Let's clap for him. All right, now Elder Richards, please come. Yes, so there's one more. Just come. Elder Dan, please come. Join me here, please. We have a small gift also for Elder Olana. He's been very supportive to this seminar. So I want Elder Dan to hand over a small gift of appreciation to Elder Olana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, all right, so Elder Jerome is engaged in a small meeting. I want to invite Elder Olana to come and make some closing remarks. After that, and our final prayer, we'll go near the flag post and take a photo, all of us with Elder Richard, just for us to keep some memories. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Agai. I'm now giving a closing remarks on behalf of Elder Jerome Abimana, who is our CFO. First and foremost, I would like to express my appreciation to the speakers, panelists, for their valuable contribution to ECD ICT Congress. My deepest gratitude goes to all attendees of this Congress and help to make it such a successful and colorful event. Thank you for your active participations and inputs. Thank you everyone for bringing your expertise and experience around the table and engaging in such fruitful ICT Congress. Special thanks to my brother Agai and his team for their leadership in facilitating this beautiful Congress. I would like to bring some Bible verses that the technology has begun from the Bible as well. When God speaks in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. It has begun from the early days. From that verse, I can say the technology has begun from the very first verse of the Bible. And also when God says, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. So the Lord has made garment of skin for Adam and his wife when they clothed them. God is the first inventor of technology when makes garment of skin for the Adam and Eve who have been disobeyed. So you guys have been called to do in this profession to serve the church. Not only that, when God called Noah to build ark, it is also, we can take it as a technology to invent the people of God not to be sink in the water. So you also called to protect the church in your profession. May God help you as you continue serving. We support you. And as a treasury team, I can see Elder Dan is with us, who is an associate treasurer of the division. And Elder Javed is also with us, an associate treasurer of the division. We are working as a team to proclaim the three angels' message to this dying world, and also to hasten the second coming of our Lord. May God bless you. Continue serving the Lord, even though your salary might be small as you think, but we are accumulating our treasure in the heaven. So I encourage you, go and train the others who are not able to come here. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Edolana. And I gave you a secret, people, that if you want IT department to work well, work closely with the treasury team, right? Give them the respect, listen to them and their counsel. Thank you. Before we have the closing prayer that will be offered by Elder Richard, I want also just to say thank you to Philip, Nicole, and John. Are they there? Philip, Nicole, and John, where are you guys? Please come. You know, this conference came just after we came from holiday, and there were so many things to fine-tune, you know, designing, all those things you see, you know, organizing for pickup, from the airport, from the bus station, and people arrived with so many bus companies, you know, some at midnight, 1 a.m., and we are on standby to make sure you arrived. So I want to really thank Philip and John. They are behind there for the good work that you've done. May God bless you for your sacrifice. All right. So Richard, come. After that, please don't forget we're having our photo session near the flags. Then you go and change and we come back for some sports. Thank you.
Let's stand for closing prayer. Let's pray. Our kind and loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this afternoon in the name of Jesus. We are yours. We commit our work to you. We commit the time that we have just shared over the last 3 days in learning and collaborating, strategizing, understanding how we can better support your church. Father in heaven, I pray for each and every person here. I pray that you would pour your Holy Spirit out into their lives, that you would be with them, that you would put a hedge of protection about them, and that you would protect their families. I pray that you would richly bless them, Lord, and that you would make their paths straight. Father, I ask that you would show them and impress upon them what your will is as they move forward in this work. Lord, thank you so much for the leadership here at ECD. Thank you, Lord, for their godly leadership in moving forward. And Lord, I pray that you would continue to be with each of us as we depart, keep us safe as we travel, Thursday evening, Friday morning, and may you be with us until we join one another again. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for your faithfulness. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
This is the last one. Just for ease of operations tomorrow as we'll be going out, please let's honor time. When we say we are leaving at 8, it will be 8. When we go to a place, when we announce that we are boarding the bus at this time, please make sure you are in the bus by that time. And for the sake of French speakers, Brother Kakule and Jerry, please make sure this information I'm saying is clear to them. Thank you. And let's go for photo session.
It comes not time but years, for there is no night there.